Welcome to TheEndStep.com. This is our first ever set review featuring Gatecrash, the second set in the Return to Ravnica block. Hi, I'm Adam.
I'm James, and let's get right into it with white and blue cards.
Sounds good. Alright, so first card up is Aerial Maneuver. Combat trick, instant speed, 1 white, 1 colorless. Target creature gets +1/+1 and flying and first strike until end of turn.
Standard combat trick, limited card.
Yeah, we see this all the time. Sometimes it gives first strike, sometimes you're flying, sometimes it's ++0. Playable and limited, very good combat trick, solid, not crazy.
It actually seems a pretty, like a more down-to-earth combat trick. Like, it's not as much of a blow. Like, it takes more work to make this effective. Like, oh, I hope they block my 3/3 with that 4/4. You know,
Right, yeah.
I have the +1/+1. You know, it doesn't like trade with giant bombs with like small creatures like other combat tricks.
At best, you're trying to get a removal spell out of it.
Yeah.
Or like with the flying, at least you can get like, oh, maybe that last like hidden, you know, 3 damage or something. It'll be amazed if it sees constructed play. It's a limited card, 100% common.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Next up is Angelic Edict.
Another pretty much limited card in my opinion. A 5-mana removal spell, not going to cut it. I mean, it has some versatility with the enchantment clause. Exile is always nice, but it's sorcery speed. Again, fine and constructed, especially sealed. Very good and sealed. A little slower.
Yeah. I mean, it's a limited card, but it's not like a good limited card. Like you would never pick this like.
Yeah,
this is something where like it wheels around and you're like, all right.
It's not a first pick draft card, no.
No. It's not even like a second or a third. It's really expensive. It's sorcery. You can't trick anybody with it, but it does get bombs off the table.
Right. It's definitely fine. Again, limited only. Next up is Angelic Skirmisher. This is a rare, first rare. 4/4 flyer. At the beginning of each combat, choose first strike, vigilance, or lifelink. Creatures you control gain that ability. Obviously a crazy bomb and limited. It'll just win the game pretty quickly by itself and a couple other guys.
Yeah, I mean it's reasonably costed for that too, but like this effect to me is like awesome though because it's every combat step. So like even on like their combat, you like I'll make my guys all lifelink or all first strike and like you can't attack me.
Yeah, the ability to change it I think is key. Like you kind of get whatever you need for the combat, whatever like your opponents do. Like, oh, they have some flyers now. Okay, now my guys have first strike, so they beat your flyers.
To me, this card like was very close to being a constructed card. It just like it needed a little bit more push, like either in the mana cost. Like if it was 5, I feel like it could have been reasonable.
I think 5 would have been.
And also like the power and toughness. If it was also like a 5/5, it would definitely be constructed worthy. Because like right now you're like, well, it's just a Loxodon Smiter for 6 mana.
Yeah.
Like you get the combat benefit and it does have evasion, but.
Yeah, at 5 mana, we're wanting like Thundermite Hawkeye, like 5/5 haste. Like,
right.
Like,
it's not like you give all your guys Death Touch. Like they could also have first strike, but I mean, if they're all 4/4, like if this tops your curve, like you're topping out at a 4/4. Like even with first strike, that's not going to kill a Thundermite Hawkeye.
No.
Like he'll just block all day. You know, like I feel like this card needed a little bit more of a push to be constructed playable.
I agree,
but it's definitely like a sealed bomb for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We have the first ever reprint, I guess, in the. Gatecrash.
Is this a reprint?
It's definitely close. I'm not sure if it was actually called Assault Griffin or not, but there's definitely the 3/2 flyer for.
Yeah, it's like the generic like sometimes on curve flyer.
Yeah,
that you play if you have to, but like you're never excited about it.
I always like the 3/2 flyer. I mean, he's anytime you have any kind of evasion, like flying is still good. Like it's just still very relevant and limited.
Yeah, I mean 4 mana feels like a lot to me.
It is. I mean, there's much better costed flyers in the set. He just is a nice 4-mana guy if you need him.
Yeah, I mean, he's there if you need him, but not really much else.
All right, we're going to get to the first card with Extort, which is I undervalued slightly, but after playing the pre-release, I like him pretty big on it now. It's pretty brutal, and he's a key part of that deck if you're going to play the Extort deck. The 1/4 body is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
the Silica Guards.
It's
what we're talking about.
Blocks,
yeah. No, this guy is like great in an Extort deck. Like if you're really going on the heavy in Extort, like you want to pick up almost as many as you can.
Yeah.
He blocks. He'll keep you alive for the longest time, and he has Extort. And like the only thing you really care about in the Extort decks is like there really isn't too many solid flyers, like defensive flyers. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Most of the defensive creatures are on the ground, but like the Extort mechanic, like nullifies flying completely. Like
Yeah, because most of the flyers are weenie based anyways.
right,
So,
right.
yeah, you're gonna beat that ping for 1, gain 1 is really gets pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Especially
and
when
this
you get
guy's
a
on
lot
curve
more.
with all the extort guys too.
He is, yeah.
So it's like awesome.
Yeah. So
This guy's very good.
very good. You know, the extort being hybrid is also nice, so he can be in a white deck, he can be in a black deck. You know, it's pretty sweet. Blind Obedience, next up. It's the Kismet effect, 1 mana cheaper. I'm not sure how I feel about this card, honestly.
Like, is this constructed playable? Like, do you feel like this could be in sideboards?
It might be. I mean, the 2 mana is pretty nice. Like, it's a pretty
Yeah.
strong effect. It has extort as a bonus.
Like, what does the metagame have to look like for you to want to play something like this?
I mean, it's pretty nice with like the hasty guys. Like, you can't get surprised by haste. I think it's kind of the cool first thing that jumps to my mind.
Right, which is like pretty big.
It's
It's
pretty
standard
good
right now.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
sure.
You know, Blackbird Zombies is the deck.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like Gruul or just generic red green agronetics.
Yeah,
They're gonna come out of the gates and like almost
Pretty
everything in
good.
those decks have haste.
Blood Rush is the real deal.
Yeah, and like I feel like if it was just that effect, it wouldn't be that great. But it does have extort too. So
Yeah.
like you're slowing their game down, but then you're also slowing them down a second time because you're getting extort triggers out of the rest of your cards. So
Right.
you're draining them. Like I feel like this card's like okay, not really like main deckable. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not in love with it. Like generally, this isn't going to be like an aggro deck card. It feels much more like a control card. And at that
Yeah.
point, like why you just might as well play sweepers. Like Terminus is still awesome. Like,
Well, I mean, this is
Sweepers
more like
fine.
on curve solution. Like
It buys you
sometimes
some time.
sometimes you don't have like the turn forward verdict or like I'm obviously a fan of Terminus and like,
Yeah.
that costs 2 more mana. So like this is like a nice.
Mid game bump.
Yeah, like you slow them down so you take much less damage and like you can hit your land drops and then get off that sweeper.
But any guy without haste, it doesn't really do anything.
Right.
It just like it comes in, like the creature comes in, it has summoning sickness, so does it really matter if it's tapped? Like
What about like in like a way weenie aggro like sideboard card where it's like you're up against other aggro matchups where like suddenly other blockers come into play tap.
it seemed like it could break that like stalemate you have. It might work there.
Yeah, and I mean everything you're already playing is so cheap, so the extort trigger is like you got the mana for it.
Right.
Generally.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on.
Next up is Boros Elite, 1 mana 1/1 that has Battalion. When he attacks with Battalion, so we need 2 more guys. He gets +2/+2. This guy I think could be in Humans. I feel like he's a human.
Really?
He's a 1 mana guy.
I feel like he's the worst of the 1 mana 3/3s.
He's okay, but I think the fact that he's human makes him like a consideration.
Well, like all the other 1 mana 3/3s that we've had in Magic, you know, like Delver, Mikal,
Yeah.
like even like Arden Recruit back in Metalcraft times.
Yeah, well, those are also way better. Like, yeah, they're all definitely better than Boros Elite.
Right, but I mean, like Boros Lead's still a 3/3 for potentially 1 mana.
Right.
Like it still fits in the same category, but it needs way more work to get going than everything else does.
Yeah, they need help with other creatures.
And like
those guys are.
This might as well say like don't attack for 2 turns when you play me because it's like you can play it on 1 for 1, like, but I mean like they're gonna have like maybe a 2 toughness guy by like turn 2 and like something you can't attack until he's a 3/3. And, you know, you can get battalion triggers going and like he didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I'm not saying he replaces Champion of the Parish whatsoever. Like,
No,
Champion is
no,
obviously
definitely not.
bananas. It's still a phenomenal card.
Yeah,
But I think if you wanted to go like a more hyper-aggressive Humans, like an all-in, very weenie strategy, you know.
I think this would need haste for that, honestly.
Maybe.
I feel like he could have been pushed a little bit more into play, but the way he is now, I think he's like a liability. Like he's never going to be a good top deck. Like he's not going to.
He's a pretty awful top deck.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
And like I don't even think he's that groundbreaking in your opening hand.
Yeah. He's pretty good in Limited. Fits in with the Boros Guild, which I did play at the pre-release. And when you have that critical mass of creatures for Battalion, it's crazy good. Like, very, very good. Combat is just whatever you want to do. You have total control. But if you don't, and you only have 2 guys, all of a sudden your guys look really bad. Like,
Yeah.
your 1/1s and 2/1s and 1/2s look pretty crappy compared to, you know, the Simics like giant monsters and Gruuls like big guys. And
Right.
so he seems pretty good. Better than Limited, but I think he might be a constructed card. I really do.
Let's see. Cord Street Denizen. The first in terms of colors in the cycle of the street denizens.
Yeah.
None of them really strike me as very good.
They're okay. When I saw the ability, like any kind of like tap a thing is really sweet and Limited.
Right, but this one takes a lot more work to do.
It is a lot of work. It's 3 mana for a 2/2, so if you can't start using that ability right away, it's pretty lame.
Mhm.
it worked okay for me a few times in combat. Like I was able to get in that damage, but then a lot of the times it was just a 2/2 for 3, which is pretty bad.
Like in old limited formats when you have like Gideon's Law Mages and versions of that, like they have multiple uses and their longevity like proceeds throughout the most of the game.
Vastly superior. Yeah.
Even like when you're in top deck when you rip a land, like I can still tap a guy down and keep getting in, but if like well, I just played a bear for 3 mana, maybe tapped a guy.
So pretty unplayable.
Yeah.
Daring Skyjack is pretty interesting. 3/1 for 2, which we've seen plenty of times in Magic. But he does Battalion, which he gains flying. He's in that same like level of like Battalion cards of like pretty sweet, but still fragile.
I'm totally against this card. Like the Boros deck is meant to be super aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you get Battalion online and swing with this guy in the air, like great. But like almost they're gonna trade like any creature with it. Like you can eat my Cloudfin Raptor that's got like a counter on it. Like I don't care because like I'm gonna kill your guy, save myself damage, and then you're gonna lose Battalion. Like I sit back for like 2 or 3 turns because the next Battalion guy you're gonna play is like doesn't have haste.
Right.
So it just buys like a ton of time. This guy's like a liability. Like and like obviously when you can attack cleanly, like you're already winning. So it's
right. Yeah, the Battalion's almost irrelevant at that point.
Right. Yeah.
So this is the first in the set of enchantments in the set that do kind of more creature-based things. So it's weird for lands to have these abilities.
Mm-hmm.
This is Debtor's Pulpit. It goes on a land and it's just tap target creature. So it kind of goes to that same effect we were talking before. Of like anytime you have a tap ability on a creature, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But now you have it on a land, but the big drawback is it costs 5 mana.
Yeah, I can definitely see this being like 1 less. And being fine.
Yeah,
but I do like that it goes on a land.
Crazy.
To me, this seems like really sweet for like extort decks or like Orzhov control or like mono weight control. If you're like crazy enough to draft something like that.
Yep.
But like 5 mana is probably reasonable because you've already stalled the game long enough with your 1/4s, your extort triggers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're taking away a land, so like that's 1 less extort trigger that you're paying for. But you control the game like a lot. Like pretty much nothing's going to kill you at this point.
Yeah, you have a bunch of super sweet blockers, and then you have this to tap down anything that you can't regularly block.
Right. Yeah. Like this card to me is like 22 cards and you need your like last card.
Yeah, it's definitely like maybe last edition. Like you need a card.
Right. Like it's not bad, but it's like really expensive.
It also feels weird and uncommon to me. Like a 5 mana enchantment that just does like one thing. Like I think that's easily a common. Like I don't know why it's like uncommon.
I agree.
But what are you gonna do? So here we have the like kind of color shifted Drudge skeleton for less mana.
No, this guy doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, he stinks.
Not in anything.
Yeah, I don't know much more to say than that. Like, it's pretty bad.
Well, next we have a potentially constructed card.
Yeah, this card is bananas.
Frontline Medic.
Yeah, Frontline Medic, 3/3 for 3, so already like pretty well costed there, and then the ability is crazy.
Yeah, like first of all, the Battalion trigger is like decent. Like you can actually swing your guys and you push like a couple damage. You swing with like a couple of like cheapy guys, like that 3/3 or whatever, and like like oh block that, block this, like nothing dies. Right. Or, like you might trade with something, or like you might kill something on their end.
Yeah, which is all better because
it's all upside.
Your guys are always indestructible now.
Right, and you're pushing like 2 damage at that point, like or like 3 damage or something. So like that seems fine. Like that's actually a really relevant Battalion mechanic because like I was saying with the Wojak, you're attacking one guy, it dies. And
there's no such thing as suiciding your guys in to get some damage. It's just I just keep attacking because I can.
This guy's like all profit in combat. Yeah, like you really can't go wrong. And like the other effect is like sweet, right?
Yeah, he has this like weird, almost I feel like it's weirdly tacked on, but it's totally cool. Like for an aggro player to have like this kind of counterspell is interesting on a guy.
It feels like a direct response, like Sphinx's Revelation.
Yeah.
Like in the future, they're like, oh, this guy's
card's too good. Like
print something.
Also good against Spawnfire, or a card we'll get to later, the Boros Fury card there. That crazy on. Also good there.
It's like a generally tool. Like this is great in a mid-range deck too, like maybe a Naya mid-range, because those cards blow you out. Like the worst card you want to see is a Sphinx's Revelation, or like maybe like a Lucky Miracle Bonfire. And this is excellent against those.
Right. Yeah, no, I think he's good. I think he fits nicely in the curve for humans. He's good like top end for that. Him and Paladin seem like they can share.
Seems like a much better Borderland Ranger in Naya decks.
Yeah. I mean,
like you don't have to play that terrible card anymore.
Yeah, because now your mana base is like super sweet, and I'm like a big Naya guy, so like I'm pretty excited to try.
Frontline Medic's like a direct upgrade in every way.
Well, we got the first Planeswalker here.
It's Gideon time.
We were both pretty excited when Gideon was announced,
Yeah,
as a card.
I played old Gideon.
We were going to see Gideon
extensively,
and so like everybody loved old Gideon, like super awesome,
super good.
Super good. Like aggro decks hated him, control decks loved him. He did everything you wanted him to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we had high hopes.
Yes.
As of right now, we're pretty disappointed.
Yeah. No, this Gideon doesn't get anywhere. He doesn't. He literally like does nothing. Like he'll build loyalty. He won't save you at all.
No, he doesn't protect you at all, which is like it doesn't even match his flavor. Like he's supposed to be taking like the brunt of the force. Like he's like that frontline warrior. Like let me like take all the damage to like save my buddies. And
but yeah, like how is he championing any justice if
he's
he
doing,
just lets you die?
Yeah, just like hey, yeah, you can come in and like totally kill my guy. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll get a bunch of loyalty though.
To me, that feels more black than anything else because like that's greed and like you can fend for yourself. Like I'm all in for the game.
I agree.
You know, but he's mono white, so
like the way he plays out, he almost feels like an aggro card, but then like that's just lame because at 4 mana you can do like better things more proactively at that point. Like
right, and like there's been lots of arguments where he's just like a really solid creature.
Yeah.
But like to me, he's like a really bad creature because he only attacks.
Yeah.
Like to be like a good creature in like control deck, like you need to block profitably.
Yeah.
And like he can't do that. So yeah, he can attack well, but like big whoop. Like you're not killing them in like 2 hits.
Right.
Like and they're at a reasonably high level because you're a control deck. So it's like attacking my like 6/6 Gideon and they're gonna take you and then kill you.
I mean, I'm hoping I'm wrong on this card. I'm hoping somebody breaks it open, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing either. I mean, obviously the ultimate's like ridiculous.
Yeah, but most Planeswalkers ultimates are ridiculous. Like, they're supposed to be ridiculous. That's called ultimates.
If you can get to 15 loyalty from his +1, then you're definitely dead because
pat yourself in the back.
Your aggro opponent has like killed you by now because they have that many creatures. It's absurd.
Right.
Yeah. So this guy gets a pretty strong downvote.
Yeah. So next up is another crazy limited card. Faces quite a few times. It was like just dominated the board by itself. Guardian of the Gateless. It's a 3/3 angel that can block any number of creatures, and each creature it blocks gets +1/+1. So like weenie strategies, just see you later.
Yeah, no, I've told you that I love this card.
Yeah,
and like I would be totally on board to play this constructed if it was a mana cheaper.
Yeah, I think the 4 mana would have been huge on it.
Yeah, like I don't see how that would be like even remotely like dangerous at 4 mana.
No, I think it's playable.
Restoration Angel exists, and she does way more than this card would ever do.
Yeah, it's not as tricky. Definitely not as tricky as Restoration Angel.
I could see it being like a rare for 4 mana.
Yeah, I think they probably would have to shift it to rare. But yeah, I think they missed an opportunity to make a good card here, and instead it's just a very, very good limited card, especially sealed, but still very high pickable in draft. I don't see maybe it's not a first pick, but some weaker packs that I could see it as a first pick. Right,
like again, if you're going like that like black whitish controlish route, which is definitely like a viable strategy. Like this card is like an awesome finisher because it blocks like everything they can come at you with. Like it just beats Boros almost by itself. Yeah, they really need to do. And it can go in the offensive because a 3/3 flyer, like it's actually got like a big butt. Yeah, it's not going to die in combat very easily.
Good clock.
Yeah. So, good card.
Good card overall. Pretty happy with it. Could have been constructed playable if Wizards pushed it a little bit more.
Next up is the Guildsworn Ward. Almost constructed playable in like the Bant Auras deck, but multicolor isn't exactly a very relevant thing, and everything's got hexproof anyway.
I just don't see it. Like conceptually, that makes sense in that deck, but the cards already say don't touch me, so why do I need another card that says don't touch me?
Right, like this card isn't going to do anything in like literally any format. Like if you're going to put on a creature that is super dangerous and limited, chances are they're just going to respond and kill it anyway. And then like it's a natural 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And actually a lot of answers in this set are monocolored.
No, there's definitely some good answers to it.
I don't feel like this card gets anywhere, does anything.
No, I mean people played it against me at the pre-release and it was okay at best. Like it essentially made his guy be able to block my multicolor guys for turns, but my multicolor guys were already better, so like he just like had a wall that could block.
Yeah, so it's not getting him anywhere close to winning any games.
No, it just bought him a turn basically. So pretty lame. Next up we have Hold Lines.
The gates.
Enchantment. So the cycle of like things that really trigger off the gates.
I mean, really, to me it feels really like a casual catch.
Because the gates are inherently bad anyways.
I mean
they're fine.
That's up for debate on some areas.
But I mean the gates are fine and limited.
Yeah, sure.
Now that we have the rest of the shocklands, I don't want to see gates in my deck. Like, get the heck out of here.
I'm still a fan of playing a 2-color deck and playing gates.
Nah, not anymore. Give me 3+ colors at this point.
Well, it's definitely playable.
Yeah.
As for this card, doesn't do anything.
Nah, lame.
Doesn't do anything. Holy Mantle, the Angelic Destiny revamp.
I can also see this as a upgraded Spirit Mantle.
Okay.
You know, costs more, gives more of a boost.
Right.
Pretty good. I'm always like apprehensive about enchantments because they're just so risky. Like if they have that removal spell as you try to do this, it's just like a total blow. Like 2-for-1s are awful, and I try to avoid those as much as possible. But it's a pretty strong effect. Like this can make any guy into like a pretty serious clock that they can never block.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool. Like especially if you can put it on a guy with like vigilance or something like that. Like now you have this crazy good wall and can tack serious clock.
Right. I only brought up Angelic Destiny because like that was almost like fringe standard playable at the time.
Yeah.
And like obviously this card isn't the same, but it's the same mana cost, so it's like how much are we willing to like go for this?
Yeah, but Angelic Destiny was like way more powerful.
Right, but it's still 4. And like I mean, yes, this is uncommon, but I feel like it could have done a little bit more. Like I feel like it's valuing protection from creatures a little bit too highly.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
So like I could have seen this being cheaper, or like maybe stronger effects.
Yeah, they essentially made 2 more mana costs to add a +1/+1 because Spirit Mantle is a 2 mana spell that was +1/+1 in pro creatures. So so they're essentially saying a +1/+1 is worth 2 mana, and it's totally not.
No. What rarity was Spirit Mantle? Was it
uncommon?
Okay, yeah. No, I'm not seeing the flow there.
Yeah.
Overall, I would say this is feels like a trap card. And like limited.
Yeah. You can play in your deck and it will be okay, but you're not excited about it.
Right. Yeah.
Next up, we have another sweet extort guy. They really thought this through and made like the extort guys like have big toughnesses. This guy has vigilance, so this is Knight of Obligation.
Yeah.
So he's a 4-mana 2/4 with vigilance with extort. Which isn't like crazy exciting, but it's so good in that deck.
Right.
It's like perfect in that deck.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like at this point, like when you have this kind of table, you actually kill things.
Yeah.
Like now they can't actually attack you.
Yeah.
Now you're not just like time walking them. Now you're just actually.
Yeah. Now you're actually like you can double block with the other 1/4 and like
really gets. It feels a lot like Hussar Patrol because it's like almost exactly the same card.
Yeah.
Just has extort instead of flash.
Yeah.
But this is also more playable, like splashable.
Yeah.
So like maybe down the road you would pick this over Hussar Patrol. Like back when we start eventually drafting all 3 of these sets together.
True.
I would value this maybe a little bit higher.
Yeah, especially in the extort deck.
Yeah, which I think is going to be like great, especially when you're dramatic rescuing things or like unsummoning stuff and crap like that. Right. Tacking on like a life loss is like make your own vapor stack.
Yeah.
To me that seems awesome. And I just want to go on record saying this is my favorite artwork of the set. This guy looks awesome.
The artwork is really crazy. Who was the artwork artist on this? Yeah, Ryan Barger.
Like if you can see like a nice like huge.
Yeah, you got to really see this artwork huge to really appreciate it because it kind of loses some of the value on the small card because there's so much detail. I mean, the face on the horse is like insane. Like there's so much detail around the nostrils and stuff.
Yeah, like 100% Orzhov. Like this is the guild in a picture.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
100%.
Like you look at it quick and you're like, oh, it's a white card, like a knight on a horse. But then you look at it closer and you're like, whoa, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah, like this guy's kind of not right in the head.
So cool card. It won't see constructed play.
No, unfortunately.
But cool card. Next up, Night's Watch, sorcery. Again, not exciting card, but it's playable.
This card's atrocious.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it seems like it's a decent top end for like maybe the battalion. Like it gives you 2 guys.
At 5 mana, like it doesn't seem good enough to me.
Yeah, but they have vigilance, like so. All right, yeah, I'm stretching a little bit, but like I think
there's still just 2/2s. Like at this point, I feel like I could have made like 1/4/4 or like maybe like a 3/3 and a 1/1.
Yeah.
Like which I think would have been fine flavor wise too. Like I understand that it's like knights in a bar or like they're off duty or something.
Right.
But like maybe one night was bigger than the other night.
Okay.
I think this could have given you a little more value. Just
you
2/2s.
You would have liked to seen some kind of asymmetry within the card. Then you're saying.
Yeah, sure. Like, I just feel like for 5 mana, 4 power, like, in being in 2/2s is like not going to get you anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, it's like an auto battalion trigger with like 2 other guys.
Right.
But
I think that's the reason why it's good. Like at least playable. I wouldn't say good. But,
yeah.
Because that deck really lives and breathes and it will die easily if it doesn't have that battalion critical mass. The fact that this is a 2-for-1 for yourself is huge for that trigger. I think that's what makes it somewhat playable.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have to try it. It's also like awfully constructed, like not even close.
No, yeah, it's
like
just stone cold awful. If you're tapping out for that, like you're just dead. Like
play like Talrand's Invocation. So
get out of here. Yeah, it's 2 mana. It's 1 mana less, and you have flyers.
And they're flyers.
Yeah, get out of here. That's much close.
Yeah.
So next up we have some of my least favorite cards in the set. These are just stone cold awful. I mean, it's just clearly fan service to Commander players or EDH players.
I've actually heard some Commander players that don't actually like these cards.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they're pretty bad. There's a couple that are okay. This is the cycle of 7 mana avatars I'm talking about.
Yeah, this one in particular is Luminant Primordial.
Yeah.
Yeah, like does nothing.
Yeah, whatever. Like it's a clearly triggered off multiplayer, and it makes it better when it's a multiplayer. But they're just lame. They're not fun to me. Like for me, this card you're wasting my rare slot.
Yeah, like these are the cards you hate opening in packs.
Yeah, like you just waste.
Like they're I guess they're new sweet for new like EDH players.
Yeah, yeah.
Like people just getting them.
They're 100% a Timmy card. Like, oh my god, it's like look at this crazy thing it does.
Yeah,
you get all your stuff.
And normally I love my 7 mana cards. You know, like Elishnorm is awesome.
Well, we're not even on the same spot.
Right. But I mean, for 7 mana, I want like a pretty sweet effect.
Yeah, I want to be like doing serious, crazy things, and this does like okay things. So like this particular one is you take a guy, right?
Yeah. Exile to 1 target creature, and they gain life. Like
So like you get to like kind of swords everybody, but you're left with a 4/7, which is pretty lame in Commander. Like Commander, you're wanting to drop like Ulamog and Grizzlebrand, and like
that's what I think the format to do. It could be wrong.
Obviously not Grizzlebrand anymore because they banned it, but
next up is Murder Investigation, which I love flavor-wise. Like, it's
this
really
is
cool.
a pretty cool card. I actually like the artwork on this card quite a bit. I like the atmosphere. It fits with the whole concept. I think it's a cool enchantment. It almost makes like suiciding your guys in the Boros thing like almost cool. Like you get a bunch of guys now.
Right, but I mean, like, not terribly that many guys. Like, it's its power. Like, what Boros guy are you swinging in that you've put, like, a 2-mana enchantment on that's going to give you, like, a value increase in the long run? Like, I'm putting my Boros 3/3 guy.
Yeah, the best you're hoping for
is
is 3 guys. Yeah.
Like, that doesn't seem like that game-breaking.
So where do you see this playable anywhere else then? Like,
not really.
Is this constructed playable?
No, I don't think it's constructed playable. I don't see this anywhere.
Okay.
But I like the card.
Yeah, cool card. Cool art, cool concept. The ability fits with the whole concept of the card.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's not great.
Yeah.
Nav Squad Commandos. He got the cut in my sealed pool. He was in there for a little bit, but he ended up getting cut. He was a little high in the mana cost. It's a really good ability on the battalion mechanic. The fact that you get to attack and block with the same guy, it's like a pseudo vigilance. And the fact that it becomes a 4/6 is pretty huge for that deck because most of their guys are pretty wimpy. So this is like one of your higher end guys. But 5 mana is kind of tough for that deck.
Yeah, to me this is an Orzhov card, like in the long run, because I mean
it has battalion though.
I know, but. So it's got the big butt that is really traditional amongst Orzhov guys. It's excellent at blocking, but this was like also decent at attacking.
Right.
Like suddenly you're like defender guys can attack, and this guy's like doing a ton of damage, especially for 5 mana. Like he's coming in for 4, which is like huge in an Orzhov deck where you're like taking them down with Extort, and like he's like staying back to block too.
But the problem with like the Orzhov thing is like they have so many walls. Like they don't have too many guys that attack well.
Right, but I mean like if you attack with your 1/4, your 1/4, then this guy. Like they're not winning in combat, and like you're potentially killing something or pushing some damage.
Right. Okay.
It seems like fine to me. Like I'm not saying it's the next breakout limited strategy. To me this card feels more Orzhov than Boros.
I think it's a card that if you need it and you don't have any better high end, you can play him. But he's easily cut.
Oh, easily cut. So. Yep. Next up is Righteous Charge. Don't like it.
I actually disagree.
Really?
I actually played this in my Boros deck, and I mean, if this was instant, it would be phenomenal.
Right, that's why I typically.
The sorcery thing is lame, but with the Boros deck, you're always ahead. Ideally on your mana curve for your creatures, so you're way faster. You have like 1s, 2s, and 3s, and you can set up a combat set where they're playing some guys to stabilize, and you won't usually kill with this card, but you essentially will make them have to block in a way that will almost pseudo-wrath them. So like now all your guys are like way better than their guys, and you're triggering battalions, so your combat's like really sweet. And usually because you made such a devastating combat step for them, you then get to kill them in 1 or 2 turns.
All right. I mean, I guess I can agree with that. To me, it just feels like it's like could have been a combat trick, but it's not a combat trick. Like
right. I think I really want to believe that they almost considered it being an instant, but they looked at the other combat tricks they have in the set, and there's already too many at instant speed.
Right, there's quite a bit.
And there's quite a bit of good ones.
Yeah.
So I think they had to kind of like nerf this one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
anytime like you have an overrun effect, though, it's pretty sweet. Like it's clearly not overrun, but it's way cheaper than overrun too. So
I mean, maybe this helps you break through like defender walls or.
Yeah, I think the 1/3s and the 2/4s all of a sudden that were causing you an issue aren't an issue.
Yeah, but like for 3 mana, wouldn't you rather just play the battalion guy?
Yeah, I mean, granted that deck you should be almost mono creatures,
right?
And this is like you have a few tricks really.
Yeah, but I mean, we need that heavy creatures. Like something like this is like pretty sweet, right?
Right. Yeah, if you have 3+ guys, this becomes very good.
Right.
I mean, if you have 1 guy, yeah, it's awful. But if you have 3+, now we're talking like some serious damage.
All right. Okay. Sure.
So next up, not constructive play.
No, unfortunately, a lot of the cards that you go through in most sets.
Yeah. There's so many that are not constructive play. There's a very select few that really you see, especially older formats.
Yeah.
So kind of yet another combat trick we have for white. There's a lot in the whole like white in Boros-y guilds.
Yeah.
This is like a kind of weirdish Holy Day fog, but like worse.
Yeah, it's just a target creature that you control this turn. Like,
I feel like we've seen this card plenty of times, and we've seen it way better.
Yes, definitely. Like the only situation where I could see this being like almost playable, even though I still wouldn't consider it playable, it's like, I've got this guy with a sweet battalion trigger, but if I attack with him, like he'll just get killed.
Right.
Like in combat. So like you swing and get your nice battalion triggers, and then you keep the guy alive. But to me, that doesn't seem like you're actually making any kind of headway.
Yeah, the weird thing is I actually lost to this card, weirdly enough. It combats, like, the red removal really well. Like, if you were, like, because limited is, like, you die very easily on your removal. So, like, if you need your limited piece of removal, and you need to kill something, and that is killing you very quickly, and then they shielded passage it, you're just dead, because, like, I tried to... kill a thing with 3 damage red spell, and they had shielded passage, and I was dead.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not an inherent great card, but it has certain combat steps where it will be, like, really good.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to evaluate those things, because, like, you only hear stories when it was, like, a blowout, right?
Right, yeah, and you never hear about the stories where there's 1,000 times where it was just, like, dead in your hand.
Yeah, it never, did anything.
It maybe saved a 1/1, or, like, something
like hey, it won you that one game in round 2. Right?
I mean, I personally wouldn't play it in my limited decks, but, I didn't lose to it.
So. There's much better stuff.
Right.
Next up is Smite. It's a nice reprint.
Good card.
Seems fine.
Yeah.
Totally
very
decent.
sweet. Low costed. I love it. Instant.
Almost the lowest cost they can go, right?
Mm.
Yeah. This card does a lot.
Yeah.
It's better than like other removal that we've had recently in this limited format where like you need to like take damage. Right. Like, actually remove something. This is like, I'll chump it and then like kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't discriminate at all. Like you can kill any creature. It's not doesn't have any kind of claws on it like black removal does. It's just, destroy target block creature.
Yeah, I think this card's
nice and clean. I think the artwork's cool. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Blast you up so much that your shoes are left.
Right. Next up is Syndic of Tithes, our first ability bear.
Another one of your extort guys.
Yeah, this guy's amazing. Like this is almost like first pickable. Like if you're like really dedicated and you're going to the extort strategy, because he fills with the curve.
Yeah, if you know you're on the extort, he becomes that much better.
Yeah, like if you're gonna like hard draft it, like push Scorvedo from the start. Like this guy is great. Like he's on curve. He's got a reasonable body. Like he might be able to get like attack or 2 in. And he's got extort. Like this is great. Like ideally you want to curve out. And he curves with the 1/4 defender, 1/4 guy.
Perfectly
with extort. Like it's beautiful. Work of art.
Yeah. I disagree with the first peggable.
Okay, sure.
But yeah,
they might be giving him a little more than he deserves.
Very good. He's very good. His value obviously increases the further into your draft you are when you clearly are on extort and you just want like a ton of extort guys.
Right.
Now he's like, oh yeah, I really want him.
Yeah.
And then we have maybe a Restoration Angel target.
This guy's terrible.
Okay.
Like, no. Just Herbis Protector. Like, 6 mana for, like, 5 power. Like, I mean, yeah, you can do, like, some blink shenanigans. To me, that seems more like a casual thing or, like, a commander thing.
Right, yeah.
Where you're like, I'll bring this guy, like, 10 times in your end step.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's obviously cool, but he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, 6 mana is way too much for a constructed card that doesn't really do a lot.
Like, you're essentially just paying 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer.
Yeah, because the 1/1 body is pretty much irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant. Like, and like a 4/4 flyer for 6 is like not good.
Yeah, I do like him in limited. 4/4 flyer is a big body still. Like, there's not too many flyers that it loses to in combat. So
yeah, right, sure.
He's not great, but he's not awful in limited.
Yeah. Then we have the last white card, Zarichi Tiger. I hope I said that right.
Yeah, I think that's about right. To
me, this feels like a sealed card.
Yeah. I played one in my deck. I was okay with him.
Yeah,
He never did a ton.
Sometimes he came to life.
Yeah, that's kind of your ideal situation because of his like 3 toughness. Maybe you can like hold back, block, gain 2 for a few turns.
Right, like he can potentially stall the board, but for 4 mana, he's coming into like already like kind of developed board state.
Yeah.
So he might not be able to bring it around for you again.
Yeah. He's just okay. Like he's
not crazy with the artwork either.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like the proportions feel off. The head's like big and weird.
Like this is an Orzhov card, right? Or is this is?
I think it's an Orzhov card, but like I don't know.
Like I mean, it's got no watermark. Like it's not technically like guild affiliated,
right?
But like I don't know. This is like kind of in between Boros and Orzhov. Like it feels like an Orzhov effect.
Yeah, but he's like on fire.
But he's like on fire. Yeah, so it feels like a Boros card in terms of artwork.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now we move into the blue cards.
Yeah, so this is the first of the blue.
It's best color in Magic.
We have disagreeing sentiments on blue. I'll play it if I have to. That's basically where we're at, and he plays it at all costs, even if it's bad.
It's the best color,
which it hasn't been bad in a long time, so I think he's biased. So further up is Aetherize. Magic loves their ether cards.
It is Aetherize. I thought it was Aethersize.
No, yeah, Aetherize. Yeah.
Aetherize. Okay, I like that name better.
It's cool.
Yeah, I actually really like this card.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much else to say. But I really like it. Like
we've seen this kind of effect before. Bounce your team. Pretty good.
It's pretty like backbreaking against a lot of like types of like limited strategies.
Yeah, it's gross. Like just total blowout. Like think about like a Simic thing where you spent all this time like evolving, do all my counter shenanigans. Right. It's so cool.
It's also excellent in Simic decks.
All right, now we go to like attack. Yeah, very good in Simic decks too. Like it fits beautifully there.
But like the board might have been at a parity state, and then like they swing out, and you bounce everything, and they can only play like maybe 2 of those creatures again, and like suddenly your evolved guys are like huge because like those guys just can't do anything, and you get like 2 or 3 turns to just like walk all over them.
Yeah, I think you can set up some nice like sequence of turns too with this card, where you say you have like a stalled board state, and you clearly don't want to make an attack, but if you have this card, maybe you attack like slightly aggressively, where you give them an opportunity to like they almost have to attack back and like like force that crack back. Okay. But then you like totally blow them out with Aetherize.
Oh yeah.
Because you actually got in some damage the turn before, and then you blow them out, and then you get to like do another big attack. You should probably just be
right. And it's one of those cards where like it's such a blowout when you play it. Like if you play game 1, they're gonna play around it for the rest of the round.
Yeah,
and it's like everything. Like I can get all these free attacks and just keep up this 4 mana and we'd like signal it a little bit with my hands. Yep. Like somebody thinking money.
Yeah, you can easily bluff this card pretty well.
And everyone's like, oh shit, maybe I just won't attack my.
The thing to forget about too is it's an uncommon, so like don't fall for that trick too much because they'll be lucky if they have 2. Like this is probably gonna be a 1-up in most decks just because it's uncommon.
Yeah, but this is like very playable in a lot of strategies.
Yeah, no, it's very, very good. Blue doesn't have a ton of removal. Simic doesn't have a ton of removal, so like it's very good. Limited card.
It feels very Simic to me.
Card. I agree. It punishes pretty well.
Yep. Next up is Agoraphobia. This card is great.
The artwork's cool. I like the artwork.
Yeah.
It fits the like whole phobia. Like he's
definitely
to go outside.
Flavor through this card doesn't its trick.
Playability, it's fine.
I think it's really highly playable. Like, it's like essentially a removal spell that you can rebuy. And like
we've seen these like rebuyable enchantments before.
And it's like I think it's really like pushed in terms of cost because like 2 mana.
Yeah, 2 mana is really good on this. Usually we see this at 3 mana.
Right, like and it's a single blue, so it's like super splashable.
Yeah.
Like this card to me feels like amazing because like I mean you're blanking like literally everything up the curve.
Right.
And
yeah, you can just keep upgrading on whatever they play as far as.
Yeah, to me this card seems like really really good.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Also uncommon, so you only see a couple. Yeah, I guess I'm going to change my opinion now that I'm thinking more about the colors in too. Like the removal's not the best. Like you're thinking about other colors, like especially black has like a lot of deep removal, like Dimir and stuff, and so like blue doesn't have a ton. Especially like once we draft all of them together, like Azorius like seems off as awesome in Azorius decks. You know, like a lot of other blue decks. So.
This feels like the non-black stab wound.
Yeah. I mean, you get the bonus of like slowly bleeding them out with stab wound.
Right. Yeah, but like I mean, this blanks like literally any creature they can play, and you're sort of bleeding them out anyway because then they're not killing you.
Yeah.
Like I mean, stab wound is like wins the game by itself. Yes,
right.
but like this also sets you up to win the game as well. It's like suddenly like your 5/5 is like complete garbage. Yeah.
The neg 5 is I think the biggest selling feature. You know, there's not too much that's higher than that they can even have a positive power. At that point.
Yeah.
So. Meh.
Clinging anemones.
Yeah.
I love the artwork. This looks really pretty.
Yeah, I like when they do sea creatures. I actually built like a Under the Sea deck when I was younger and had all like jellyfish and manta rays and men of wars and stuff. So like
new edition, man.
Yeah, I gotta whip it up. I gotta get that deck out and take a look at it. Maybe you can get in there.
This is a pretty large jellyfish.
This card's awful. I mean, don't play this card. It's a Simic card, but it has Defender, which Simic doesn't want because it's an aggressive based guild.
Right. The mechanic is very aggressive.
So it's like
I mean, it's not bad on like a Defender too. Like your Defender gets huge.
Bad. The Simic has way better guys than this.
There's much better evolved guys, especially at 4 mana.
Yeah, if you have to play this guy in your deck's probably bad. Like.
Yeah, or you're trying to strategy that's probably not going to work out for you.
The only value I see of this guy is because of the 4 toughness, he'll trigger evolve pretty regularly. Okay. Because it triggers off of power or toughness.
Right, but I mean, is that worth playing like a junky
of course
creature?
not. I mean, the next card we're going to talk about is what evolve is supposed to be. It's awesome.
Right. Cloudfin Raptor. Just go right into it.
So Cloudfin Raptor, yeah.
This guy's great.
One blue mana. He's a 0/1 flyer. I love evasion. I love flying. And the evolve mechanic is really sweet. So I played Simic at the pre-release as well, and I had him. And when I could curve out with like 1, 2, 3 drop, I just won the game every time.
Yeah,
he just did so much damage. He becomes a 2/3 and a 3/4 all the time.
Oh, which is like ridiculous.
Ridiculous at 1 mana.
And like in the flying where like nothing is like good against that. Like 4 toughness is monstrous.
The thing that's sweet again with this card too is like it's that common, so you're gonna get multiples if you really want it.
Oh yeah.
It's very good. I almost hope he's constructed playable. I don't think he is. We'll see how good the evolve is in constructed. I'm not sold on it yet, but I really want him to be. Like he's pretty sweet.
Well, hopefully somebody like gives it a shot and it works out.
Yeah.
To me, it just feels like if it gets killed or like future top decks are like so.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has a downside. Yeah, like all the evolved guys. Like when an evolved guy gets bounced, they're pretty bad. Like it's pretty sad when they get bounced because you put all this work into them and you purposely played guys in a certain sequence to keep triggering evolve, and then they just like get you with an unsummon effect, and it's like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
There's my 0/1 again.
It's really strong, but it's easily punishable.
Right. This is also one of the mutants, which I was really happy when they started showing the artwork for the mutant series. It's pretty sweet. Like it fits in with the concept of Simic. Like let's play with the DNA of stuff and create weird things.
Ridiculously Simic, like flavored to the max.
So awesome card. I'm happy with that card.
Not so much on the next
one. Yeah. Another Avatar guy.
Diluvian Primordial. Like This whole cycle is just very like let down.
Yeah, I just have nothing to say about these cards. Like they're just so boring to me. Like I just want to throw them away. Like I'm praying somebody takes them out of my train binder. Like I would rather be like, yep, take them away.
If I had to say something about this one specifically, it's much more EDH friendly to me.
Okay.
Than the rest of them, because you get to like steal an instant or sorcery from everyone. That seems like really,
okay.
really
Yeah,
awesome.
and generally you're playing some serious instant sorceries in EDH. Yeah, I mean you're playing some serious stuff.
I don't know, like I don't play that format, but I feel like for 7 mana you can probably like win the game or something.
Yeah. You're putting together crazy combos, and you're playing very aggressive, high-powered creatures. I mean, this one does have flying. It's 5/5 body. Like
not really relevant, especially for 7 mana.
I'm done with this card.
Yeah, pretty dope.
So next up is one of the very early spoiled cards during the Christmas season.
It's our first mythic, right?
Yeah.
So far?
Yeah, it was first mythic of the set. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this was like that when they released those 5 cards, right? During like
it was like
season.
leaked or whatever you want to call
it. It was like purposely leaked by Wizards to be like, is this real? Is it not real?
Then we got like buy it on Craigslist.
Yeah.
That's
what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. You got to pack like some stack of cards on Craigslist, which was obviously a plant. Now that we know that they're real, but when you first see the spell, you're like, what? Like this is card ridiculous. Like 12 mana. What the hell?
Into the infinite. Yeah. There's been talk of this in Legacy, and like I can see it there. Like it's definitely castable in Legacy.
Yeah. Well, like an omniscience, like kind
of
card.
Yeah. Like I mean, omniscience is played.
Yeah.
It's getting more fringe every day. But,
right. Yeah. It's not as good as it was.
I don't know. Like this just feels like win more. Like
it's very win more. Like if you can't win after drawing your deck, like.
Or like if you need to win by drawing your whole deck, then you've got some consistency issues. Like it seems fine. I mean, I guess you could like draw your deck and then play your whole deck. Right. But I feel like it's much more efficient win conditions.
Yeah, I hate these kind of spells. Like I'm much more an aggressive player. I want like a nice curve. Yeah. I don't want to be spending 12 mana on a spell. Like even if I have to cheat it into play, like I had to do a ton of work to cheat it into play. And I could have just killed you already. Yeah,
like what does your deck look like at that point if you're doing all this work to get a 12 mana spell into play? Like a bunch of do nothing cards that only interact with your 12 mana spell.
It's really simple. It looks pretty awful.
And you're getting you're getting killed when you're just like sitting on all these like ram spells.
Yeah. I mean, again, I hope it's another card I can like move because it's a mythic. People like mythics.
Yeah. It's very pretty.
Yeah, I am pretty happy with the artwork. I'm glad they are doing some of this now recently. I was a little disappointed with the... Yeah, he's I like him a lot.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. She did the... what's that green mana one? The green one that...
Yes, it was from Amazon Restored, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like that one quite a bit, too.
Yeah, also Force of Will.
Yes. Yeah, blue card. Woo! So yeah, I was a little disappointed with the artwork. It's gonna be a little like artist aside. Like as the artist, like I'm like I get like these little things with Magic. With artwork on the Innistrad block where it was like amazing, but it was very realistic. There was very little like abstract or painterly based stuff, and I generally favor that kind of work just because you can see what went into it more than like the hyper aggressive like Photoshop, just like everything's super clean. And I'm glad like some of this kind of artwork, like her stuff, is coming back. Like she's one of the few. Like Rebecca Guay was another one. Like she doesn't see a ton of stuff, but like she did a lot of work on the lore and block in earlier sets. But I'm hoping they continue this and keep doing more of this. Some more abstract-y, surreal artwork. And that's it from my side.
Let's go aside. Next up is Frilled Oculus, and I think this card is great.
AKA Mutant Rootwalla. Kinda?
Yes, kinda.
Yeah. Yeah, he's sweet. Fits in the Simic. Curve, awesome. He hits real hard.
Almost definitely triggers your evolve, right?
Yeah, the three body. They clearly made him a 1/3 to fit nicely with the evolve. Like,
right.
He's usually see this card as a 2/2 like Rootwalla, but they could make him more aggressively costed because they changed his ability to a different color. So it's not an on-color thing like Rootwalla is. But yeah, they definitely shifted the 1/3 just because of the evolve.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Like,
yeah, no, he fits super sweet with the curve, and
tech's really good.
Tech's really good, and he's not an awful top deck because of the bonus evolve thing. So
chances are you can trigger it on something.
Yes.
Like if you have to replay that Cloudfin Raptor, I got bounced.
Yeah. Now he's good again.
Yeah.
Also, another one of the like kind of mutiny things. He's a homunculus, but he looks very like mutiny, like squid mutant, cyclops thing.
Pick up your adaptive automatons now.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Gridlock, which again, I like the arc on this one. This is a very interesting piece for Magic art.
Yeah.
Top down, like city thing. You can see the
Right.
street scene.
Extremely flavorful. Like this is like the epitome of Ravnica to me. Like what's up on those rooftops? Those pools. The top
Yeah.
of the
Like
roofs?
these really like high end, like swank apartments up on top of the roofs.
This artwork's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm-
interesting.
I almost guarantee Waldo's in there somewhere too.
He
Like,
very well might be. There's so much detail. Like
Or
this is
Carmen.
a piece I'd like to see large to see what the artist put in there because
yeah.
there's so much that we're not going to be able to see that they kind of threw in for fun.
Yeah. On the card itself, the card doesn't seem too bad either. Like
No, I think it's very playable. Anytime there's been a multi-tap card.
a Giga Drowse effect.
Yeah, exactly. Has seen play. Has seen construction play.
Yeah. I mean, this card seems sweet. Like it just seems sweet. Like it's a little overshadowed by like Feeling of Dread.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
Feeling Dread is definitely better. It's been more aggressively costed. You get more value out of it right away.
Right.
But late game, this card is like better than Feeling of Dread because you can tap down like
Yeah, it's like a sometimes cheaper time lock.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like sometimes like Feeling Dread. Generally, Feeling Dread sometimes is like a 4-mana spell because you're tapping the 4 guys.
right. You're getting in there. You're getting there for a bunch, or you're trying to not take damage for a
Right.
bunch.
Like, and this is like a little Snapcaster friendly.
Yeah. Now you can play it for whatever you want.
Yeah, whereas like Feeling Dread obviously isn't.
Right. Yeah, because it's gonna flashback itself.
Yeah, I mean it's not like game breaking or anything, but I think it's like fine.
Yeah, I think it's a good card. It's a defensive and an offensive card,
Right. Right.
which is nice.
So it could fit like really well into Simic, especially because like they have a lot of like generally ramp spells.
Right.
Or, like they like lands obviously.
Right. Yes.
So like when you're carving out and you got like a lot of lands on the table, a Gridlock could be nice for
Right.
like
Yeah.
end
It
game.
feels very very sweet in Simic. Yeah, it almost feels like a fourth of a cryptic too. Like because generally you're gonna be like tapping their whole team. Like,
Right.
The exit ability allows you to tap a bunch, which generally turns into the whole team.
Right. And it's only a single blue, so it's like super splashable.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like it's almost worth splashing just for that card. Like if you don't
Yeah.
have removal, but you have a Gridlock, take it.
I mean, it's as good as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Next up is Hands of Binding, our first Cipher card.
Yeah, it is the first ever card. So this is the Demir mechanic. I'm not like in love with this mechanic. It
seems like a lot of work to me.
It is a lot of work. In any of the cards that have Cipher, they had to make extra expensive because anytime they print like a reusable effect, they're nervous about it because obviously it's very good when you can keep getting value. But as a side effect, all those Cipher cards are like much worse because of that.
Mhm.
They're like 4 and 5, man.
Right. Like to me, this seems like ridiculously undercosted. This is the only Cipher card that feels like super aggressively costed, or like maybe too cheap for the effect. Like
Right.
I mean, they make up for it by being a sorcery.
Yeah,
Which
that's
I'm
true.
pretty sure all
So-
Cipher cards are sorceries.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think there's an instant Cipher.
You're
That
right.
might be like too good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like 2 mana, like almost permanently keeps something tapped, like a creature.
Yeah,
That seems
it's
fine.
especially. I mean, Cipher becomes better the more guys you have with evasion.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Invisible Stalker's already shown his like worthiness,
Right.
and with other things
Yeah,
put on top of him. So like this could be like another like additional step. Like this
Right.
this card pushes a ton of damage.
It does. It's like almost got an arrest kind of feel.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I pay 5 mana for my Tamios, and this does the same thing.
Yeah, well, but Tamio does a little bit more than.
Yeah, I know. But like, I don't know. This seems like a really strong effect, and repeatable is like awesome.
Yeah. Now, are you saying like constructed awesome, or are we saying like?
I could see it in like some kind of invisible stalker thing,
Okay.
but not with ban auras around. Like, there's just way more like efficient uses for invisible stalker.
Yeah.
I can see this being with like lingering souls, or like it's some kind of like token deck.
Okay.
They have, like blue-white tokens or Esper tokens,
Okay.
where like you're still tapping on their flyers with your flyers.
Yeah.
So like you're pushing lots of damage.
Yeah, but then like you have very fragile creatures at that point that
Right.
if you break up the cipher, then what is it going to do?
Right, but I mean, generally you're playing like protection on your creatures, or like you're pumping your creatures.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they do play like Intangible Virtues and
Yeah.
stuff like
Anytime
that.
you'll be able to boost, you'll be better off.
Yeah, I don't think this card's like gonna break anything wide open or anything. I just think it's probably the best Cypher card. Well, actually, no. There's another one that's probably a little better, but this is like probably the second best Cypher card.
Okay. Next up, we have Incursion Specialist. The 2-mana 1/3, which whenever you cast the second spell, he gets +2/+0 and is unblockable.
Too much work.
Way too much work. Like, why don't I just play Invisible Stalker? Like, yeah, he gets +2/+0, but you have to play a bunch of stuff. And
yeah, I mean, this guy's like okay and limited. Like, I guess you could play 2
really
spells,
like him in that.
but like that's asking a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to be online to like super late game where you probably don't have 2 spells to play anyway.
And the weird thing is that I feel like the uncommon thing is like, yeah, he's a 2-mana that can potentially hit for 3 unblockable.
Yeah,
but meh.
It's pretty uncommon.
You already have other unblockable guys in this set, which you don't have to do any work for. Besides, like, yeah, you have to bounce a guy or something like that, but like they're just unblockable, like straight up, which is vastly better.
Yeah,
when you just sit behind and then you can protect him. Like,
yeah, this guy's pretty boring and pretty lackluster.
Yeah, so, as I just said, the 3/2 unblockable guy is next up. So Keymaster Rogue, yeah. So this is the guy you have to bounce a guy, which I played him in my Simic deck, which allowed me to kind of like play some shenanigans with the bounce.
Yeah, keep the evolve triggers going.
Right, and I could bounce guys that maybe weren't doing anything, or the cheaper guys so I could play him right back again.
Right.
But a 3 power, guy that's unblockable is a real clock.
Yeah, he's definitely like really, really big, but I keep reminds me of like Fairy Imposter.
Okay.
You know, which was like essentially unblockable because it has flying.
Yeah.
And it's a 2/2, like for only 1 blue.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, Fairy Imposter is better.
Yeah, but like I'm reminded of Fairy Imposter by Keymaster because it has the bounce effect and like.
Yeah, the bounce effect is always dangerous because like if you cast him and they kill your like only guy in response, you have to bounce the Keymaster.
Right. I mean, he seems fine. He seems playable, but like a little boring.
Yeah, I mean the 4 mana is a little rough. Sometimes you play him like you're trying to play him on curve, and you don't really have any good value guys to bounce, and maybe you're already getting in there with your other guys. So you don't even really want to play him because it's going to interrupt your
might get stranded
stuff. So yeah, I played him and he was fine, but I wasn't in love with him.
Yeah, I mean you can put Cypher stuff on him.
Yeah, he obviously is a good Cypher target. Yeah, but the 2 toughness on him, he dies to everything.
Right. Yeah.
Like mugging is a real card. Like mugging is a real deal.
Yeah.
Like 2 damage is,
Yeah, I'm
pretty big.
I'm bored of mugging.
Yeah, mugging's big.
Yeah. Don't
so
actually mug people.
Another Cypher card.
Last thoughts.
Yeah, so
to me this is strictly unplayable in every sense.
I was looking at this in my seal pool and I was looking at it, I'm like, I really would love a reusable card draw effect, but why don't I just play Curiosity? Like, I can get Curiosity for 1 mana, why do I have to pay 4 mana for this?
Yeah, like we were all like expecting like a draw card Cypher.
Yeah.
And like it was like a big debate like what it would cost.
Yeah.
And I feel like 4 mana is the unplayable range.
Yeah, I totally agree.
To me it was like they were like really, really careful about it.
Yeah.
Like because like the effect in theory could be like really good.
Yeah, I think they were overly cautious, honestly.
Yeah, like I feel like it could have been cheaper. And like just could have been like you can play around it better.
I also think that they could have made it instant and not been a problem.
Yeah, I feel like 4 mana, if it was instant, 4 might have been like okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely needs to be instant.
Yeah. So the only good thing I'll say about this card is I like the arc. I'm a big fan of that. I think the concept of like last thoughts and like pouring stuff into your brain is kind of cool.
Yep.
Oh, good, another unplayable card.
Leyline Phantom. I actually really, really like this card, but not because of like the card.
All right, tell me, because I'm not even going to talk about this.
I think it's like ridiculously flavorful.
Okay.
I love the artwork, and like the flavor text is like obviously like a telling of the next set.
Okay, I didn't even read the. Keep talking about it while I read the flavor text.
Yeah, so like the flavor text mentions a maze, and it's Jace talking about Niv Mizzet. So like this is obviously like a plant for the next set, and like now we're looking at a creature that's like kind of like ethereally. So like that creatures in the maze, like.
Okay. Yeah, and he even talks about the dragon too, like.
Yeah, and he's referring to Niv Mizzet, obviously.
Right.
So like, this is why I like this card because it like gives us like a look at the next set, like a very, very, very like basic preview.
Yeah.
Other than that, the card is like
yeah. I generally like my like spoiler like preview cards to be like Tarmogoyf when I have like, hey, Planeswalker as a card type. What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is more like a flavor
awful
spoil.
card.
It's more like a flavor or a story spoil.
Yeah. I mean, it's common, so they didn't waste a good slot on it.
Right.
You know, it's fine. The Phantasm, like, whole thing of, like, them being skittish and bouncing away has been done before.
Right.
But I feel like they've done it, like, better mana cost. Like, it's a 5/5 for 5, which is good. But usually, because of that clause, the whole bounce clause, like, they usually try to go more aggressive with it.
Right. I feel like this could have been like 3 mana.
Yeah, you could have done, like, 3, 4, 5 mana, man. It's
5 mana like
rough.
every like 2 or 3 turns. Like
Yeah.
it's a long time. Like,
Yeah, it's bad.
Will it kill somebody? Yeah, but it's gonna take forever.
Bad.
Yeah.
So, down on that card. Metropolis Sprite, though, I actually like. I'm a big fan.
Yep. I don't see anything wrong with this card.
Really, really sweet with the 1-drop Evolve guy as your second play.
Okay.
You know, the what was the name of that guy?
Cloudfin Raptor?
Yeah, Cloudfin Raptor.
Yeah, that's like super aggressive.
Yeah, that was my Simic deck was that like had a very aggressive build where I did like, the Raptor into the Sprite, into the mutant, the 3/1 flying trample mutant, the 1 green, 1 blue, 1 colorless.
Okay.
So like that was my curve, and it was just like bananas. It was just like so much damage. Right. All of them have evasion.
I think this card works really well with a lot of like Simic strategies. And,
yeah.
Specifically a card that we'll get to like much later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this card's fine.
Good card. I also like it because it's very reminiscent of Lorwyn. Like, it's a fairy rogue, which the fairies were rogues in Lorwyn. It even looks like a lot like those fairies. I almost feel like maybe,
I do like the art.
In the story sense, like maybe it's, this fairy came over or something. Like, it feels like a little bit weird that there's a fairy here, but
I mean, there has been other fairy cards too.
Yeah, but she looks more like a Lorwyn fairy.
Yeah, sure.
So.
Sure. Next up is Mind Eye Drake.
Eh.
I mean, it's big. It's 2/5.
Yeah, I mean, you get a mill effect.
5 cards is asking a lot.
5 cards good, especially in limited. It's a good chunk of your deck.
Almost like strictly limited. It's a lot.
Yeah,
but it's like a giant chunk of your deck.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's worth paying 5 mana for 2/5 flyer.
No, there's plenty of other cards in like the whole Demir milieu kind of thing, that are creatures that will protect you, that do a similar effect. Maybe not 5 cards, but you can do like a reusable effect.
Right.
That is better.
Yeah, this thing isn't threatening to the point where you want to kill it.
No.
And when you do want to kill it, like, it's a 5 toughness, so it's like even hard to kill when you do want to kill it.
It's hard to kill, yeah. I mean, it does protect you, but
the effect is pretty boring.
Yeah.
Because it's like not going to come up that often.
I will say, you like the Eye of Sauron on his chest. I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. He's got to get around somehow. Right?
Yeah. So that's about it.
Yeah.
Next up, though, Pongify, baby.
Yeah, rapid hybridization. It's now called.
Yeah. So
I feel like this could be constructive playable.
I totally agree. Snapcaster, man, like yeah.
A 1 mana like unconditional removal spell, like you can't ignore.
Yeah, like, you have to at least consider it.
I've thought about this card, and like you definitely want to play it in like decks where you don't care for the 3/3, obviously.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you need to be able to like have a way to deal with the 3/3. Because if you give them a 3/3 and you don't have a chance to deal with it, you're gonna die.
Right. To me, this seems like pretty sweet, like a Restoration Angel deck.
Yeah.
Where, like, you could easily just like eat the 3/3 if you really wanted to.
Yep.
Or like you could upgrade your crappy creatures into the 3/3s.
Yeah.
And then like, I could say like a turn where you like you have an Augur of Bolas.
Yep.
You end of turn make it a 3/3.
Yeah.
And then Moreland Haunt the Augur to make it 1/1.
Yeah. So you get it for 4.
So then you get it for 4. Like that's super aggressive. Like very tempo-y.
I also like the aggressive play of like, if they go to like kill one of your guys on your turn, or on their turn, even better.
Right.
Then you can respond by actually killing your own guy.
Right. And maybe block them out of combat now.
Right.
So
like then you can get a 3/3 and hit them with the 3/3. So like you can use it as a removal, but also like almost like an upgrade for your guys. Pongify saw play when it was a card. Like it didn't see a ton of play.
Right.
But in the right deck, it's pretty sweet. And for blue to have like destroy target creature is just they don't do it. Like, it's just very rare.
Definitely.
So cool card. The fact that it makes a frog lizard is pretty cool.
Oh, have you seen the token?
No, I have not seen the token yet.
It's really weird. Like
sweet. I gotta check it out.
Next up is Realm Right.
Not sure how I feel about this guy.
I don't think it does anything.
I mean, like the first thing that comes to mind is like you name swamps in a Valak deck, but like the deck already does that. Like you don't need this card, you know, to do that. Like you're just gonna water down your deck if you're gonna do that effect. But I can't think of anything better than that. And like, it's a rare, so like you want it to be something cool, but
yeah, to me this feels like a combo-y card, or like like you said, like a little more than like you don't need it.
Right.
Oh, this feels like another copy of this effect in like EDH decks.
But the weird thing is too, it's not all lands; it's just lands you control. So it's like,
right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's good for you.
Yeah, I can't think of an instance off the top of my head. Like, if it was at least all lands, like maybe you could have some kind of lock-on effect with like choke or something.
Right.
You know, but
I mean, this might be like another Urborg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you turn all your lands into swamps, and like
your mana's super awesome with that.
You have like a ton of mana.
Right.
I don't know. Overall, doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it. And definitely a rare that I'll open that I'll be sad.
Yeah, very sad.
So
yeah. Next up is Sage's Row Denizen, another in the street. The Planeteers.
Right. This one I actually like in the Dimir deck.
Okay.
This is one of the reusable effects that doesn't really cost you anything because it's a free effect.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have to have blue guys,
right? Which I'm not crazy about doing in the Dimir, like a Dimir Mill deck.
But there's a lot of guys that are good in the Dimir deck that are blue-black, which is fine.
Okay, sure. Like I can see them in like a mill strategy and limited too, because you're clogging up the board so you don't die.
Yeah, the three toughness is relevant.
Yeah, and like I mean, and you're milling them too as you play dudes. So like you're all clogging up the board so they can't really kill you.
That's what I'm saying.
And you're milling. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see it. Like, a 2/3 for 3 isn't terrible.
No. I mean, this is a card you're not fist pumping to get, but
right. But if he fits your curve,
he fits the curve and he fits like the concept of the like the mill plan.
Right.
So. Next up, we have Sapphire Drake. Meh. It's okay. 4/4 flyer is really, really good.
I think he's pretty good topping the curve in the Simic deck.
Yeah, he's obviously 100% the best in Simic. And everything else, he's essentially just 4/4 for 5.
For 6.
For 6.
Yeah.
Oh, it's even worse.
Yeah.
But in the Simic deck, yeah, you'll like you almost like you see the ideal play of like they pass a turn to you. You tap out, play this, and then just smash them because all your guys are flying.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he seems like a nice alpha striker.
Right.
Just fine. But, like, I mean, generally, a lot of Simic guys have flying anyway.
There is a ton of flying in Simic, I will say.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I liked it.
But, like, I mean, he might pump up your ground guys, but they're probably already going to be, like, enormous anyway because most of the ground guys are pretty low-costed.
Yeah.
And, like, they're getting all their evolved triggers.
They have much better power and toughness than the flyers. Right.
So, like, I mean, at worst, like, they're chump blocking.
Yeah, I mean, I am not thrilled with him, but I'm not hating him. If I had my choice of my ideal like limited Simic deck, he wouldn't make the cut because he would be worse than all my rest of my cards. But I can see drafts where I'll have to play him.
Okay. Yeah.
That's about it. So new negate.
Not quite, in my opinion. I think negate does its job perfectly.
Yeah, at half the cost.
At half the cost, and like I don't feel like you need to tack anything else on. Like for 4 mana, I would just play like a rewind. Yeah, something that's going to counter anything. Yeah, and like I get to untap my lands.
Yeah, you can play rewind because it's a unconditional counterspell instead of this like nerfed counterspell. Like you cantrip, which is cool. Yeah, but if you want a cantripping counterspell, like you might as well just play remand. It's like.
Well, I mean, in the formats where it's legal, like speaking strictly standard, like
there's plenty of better counterspells.
There's much better counterspells. I mean, if it was counter target spell, draw a card.
Okay,
that'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
Like that'd be very playable in my opinion.
Yeah. What's the rarity? This is a common too. Yeah. So. I think maybe if they had made it uncommon, they could have done counter target spell, draw a card.
It'd have to be more blue mana. I feel
like 2/2.
Maybe 2/2. Yeah. Feels very cryptic command at the point, though.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think the whole thing of like the fact that it's a negate effect,
right?
But while Snapcaster Mage is still in play, it just makes it that much worse too. Because like at 4 mana, you can get a Snapcaster Mage plus a negate.
Right. Like, yeah, and like it's too narrow for something like limited.
Right.
And there's better options than
there's much better counter spells for limited.
Card's just gonna go into the coffers.
Yep, pretty much cut right away.
Next up is Civic Flux Mage, which I like.
Yeah, when I first saw him, I was really high on him, actually.
Yeah.
I've come down a bit on him now, because the weird thing is he's actually, as a 1/2, he actually doesn't trigger evolve that much. And, like, he's kind of actually hard to trigger evolve with.
Okay, yeah.
So, the fact that, like, I feel if he was like a 1/3, all of a sudden, like, he's better. Because
Right.
now he triggers a bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
But he's good, definitely good. The fact that you can move counters from him to keep him low, so he'll keep getting evolve.
Right.
And you can move those counters onto your flyers or your unblockable guys. Like, very powerful effect if you can get that engine going.
Right.
But there was plenty of times when I played him out and I couldn't get anything going with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. I think he's like the line. Like, I think you draw the line at Simic Flex Mage. Like,
Okay.
I feel like he's on the lower end of like good Simic guys.
Yeah.
But it's still playable.
Yeah, very playable. I couldn't see too many decks where he's going to get cut. I think he's in most Simic decks. Especially if you have like a way to do counters without doing evolve, like the 1-mana green enchantment that you can get a counter every turn.
Yeah.
Because then he just becomes like almost this like pseudo profitable machine gun for you every turn. Where like every turn I can make any guy I want bigger.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Not much else to say there.
Yeah.
Next up is Simic Manipulator, and this card I don't think is good at all.
So he's kind of like a ring wraith, I guess, going on.
Yeah.
Got the big shroud thing going on. But he has like a crabby mutiny hand.
Oh yeah, the picture's awesome.
The picture's awesome.
I love the picture.
I actually disagree. I think he's pretty good. He's not great, but I don't think he's constructed playable. Let's just get that off the table. Like in limited, he's playable in the Simic deck.
All right, I mean, like maybe. I feel like he takes a lot of work to get off like maybe one mind control effect.
Yeah,
and that's like asking a lot more. Like at that point, how much mana have you paid for this mind control effect? Like lot.
But a reusable mind control effect is really crazy. And the thing that I like about him is I think people do evaluate him higher than he should be evaluated, so they'll use removal on him.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that will change as the format like comes together and you figure out what is powerful and what's not. But people are generally afraid of control magic, and because it's just so good, and the fact that it's a reusable effect, it just makes it that much better, more scary.
Yeah, to me, this guy's as good as your deck is.
Yeah,
like if your deck is like really awesome, like a great curve and like a bunch of creatures, like this guy could be fine.
Yeah, but steal their only flyer.
He really, really, really punishes you if your deck's lacking in like any department. Like a 0/1 for 3 is never gonna.
Right. Yeah. He's awful by himself.
Yeah, but if you don't have anything like to support him, like you don't want him.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing him in Simic 100% of the time because you have ways to manipulate those counters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the card we talked about before, like the fact that you can siphon counters from the Flux Mage onto the Manipulator, now we're talking about something,
Right.
But that's about it.
Yep. Next up is Sky Games, another one of the Enchant Land cycle.
Yeah, still not in love with these, but of the ones, I do like this one.
Right. It's like the kick across.
Yeah.
Like you tap a land, you have flying.
Right. And the fact that there's so little like land destruction in the deck, like you're not going to get blown out
In the form in the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to get blown out.
This guy's fine.
Yeah. Giving flying is good. Like flying is still evasion.
Definitely.
It's still a pseudo unblockable, and in the right deck where you have some beefy guys, like you can really put on a good clock.
Yeah, this guy seems playable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not great, but
yeah. Next up is the new Mana Leak.
Spell
Rupture.
So I think I had like probably a too good experience with this card, and I'm probably too high on it at the moment. But I played it in my Simic deck, and it was Mana Leak on steroids, like all the time.
Yeah,
like all the time. It was just like I could play it because it's so low cost because it's Mana Leak mana. Literally, you can play a small Simic evolve guy, like trigger your guys, get in for attack. Like they play a guy to stabilize. Like now you have Mana Leak open, but it's even better because your guys are like 4, possibly 6, possibly 7. Like I was doing this for like 5 to 7 regularly in my Simic deck.
Yeah,
and it's just crazy.
Like this to me, this card's going to be played in standard. Like this seems constructed playable.
Like Thrag Tusk, like
that sounds crazy, right? Like
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Especially considering you can like Snapcaster this.
Yeah, the fact that like again like Snapcasters in the format, like you always got to think of like anytime you see an instant or sorcery, you're like, how good is this to Snapcaster with? And this is very good.
Like if you have no board, you can still Snapcaster and counter something for unless they pay 2.
Right.
Like
yeah.
that's still fine.
Yeah, it's almost like a pseudo rune snag kind of
Yeah,
effect.
yeah, and like I mean, it's very splashable, so you can play it in blue. Like Mana's like at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And, like Thragtusk is heavily played. To me, this seems like a sweet ban card, a ban control card.
Yeah. No, I think the card's good. I'm not sure about if it's going to make the cut or not, but I think it has a good shot. It has a good shot.
I feel like if any like blue common is going to come out of the set,
It could be Spell Rupture.
Spell Rupture.
Yeah. So next up we have Stolen Identity, another Cipher card. So is this the one that you were talking about?
This is the one I was talking about. I think
Okay.
this could be like the best Cipher card in the set.
Okay.
Seems bananas. Like you make a copy of a creature, put on a creature that can attack, and then make another copy of that creature. Like one word, Thragtusk.
Yeah, this does feel a little Windmore-y to me though. Like you have to pay 6 mana for it.
But then all you gotta do is attack and hit, and you get a free Thragtusk.
Yeah, but then like if you're that late in the game, like okay, see this is a scenario I see. Like I have I have a Thragtusk in play, right? And I'm gonna or my opponent has a Thragtusk.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Like I copy the Thragtusk. I have a Thragtusk. So then, if that's your only creature, you have to cipher onto the Thragtusk copy.
Okay.
Right? So you go to attack the next turn, and this is really late game. So they have a removal spell for this Thragtusk.
Sure.
And especially now that you've ciphered it, they're going to use it on the Thragtusk. And then you've just spent 6 mana to make a Thragtusk. When you could have just spent 5 mana to make a Thragtusk.
Maybe.
That's a real Thragtusk.
Maybe, but like then you're gonna Spell Rupture that, right?
Yeah, okay, of course. We have the God Hand. Yeah, I mean, fine.
What about like Dimir Kirun? Imagine putting this on Dimir Kirun and you make copies of Dimir Kirun. So like you're ramping and then killing your opponent even faster.
But they stay a creature though, right? Now and then put copy?
No, because they can copy an artifact.
Oh, copy artifacts.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
like
sweet,
that one.
right?
That one's not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not gonna sell me on it yet, but maybe.
I feel like this card could be a sleeper. Like
Okay.
Like it could. I mean, it is 6. Like you're definitely right.
Right.
It's asking a lot, but for like a repeatable copy effect, I mean, it's a 6 like down payment. Like after that, it's like free as long as you keep connecting.
But those are the cards that like I don't really love. Like I want a card that impacts right away, and like we're saying, ideal scenario like there's a Thragtusk on board and we're copying Thragtusk.
Right. So you are getting an impact right away.
Right. That's an impact right away. But if they're playing like say you're playing against like Boros humans, and which seems like would be a deck.
Okay.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna copy your Champion of the Parish, and I have 1/1. I'm dead. Like,
Well, I mean,
it's
yeah.
awful. It's awful. Like, so I think it's like a narrow card where it could be really amazing, and then a card that you're gonna lose because you have it in your deck.
It's possible. I mean, it definitely gets boarded out in like a lot of matchups.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like I feel like it's a card that if you get online, like you can just pull so far ahead. It's like
Yeah. It's more of a trip to Value Town, anyways, which is the Bant deck in a nutshell. You know what I mean? Like it's just grind you.
Right.
So next up we have Totally Lost. One of my favorite artworks from the set.
I love
actually.
this picture, but it was
Yeah.
very sad.
It is just heartbreaking. Yeah, so the little Lost.
It's
like,
the guy from Monsters Inc., right?
It is similar to Mike Wazowski. Is that you're referring to?
Sure. I've never actually seen Monsters Inc.
Shame on you.
Don't tell my girlfriend.
I will email her right away. Yeah, so he's like a little lost homunculus. Like all the humans are scuffling about town, and like nobody's paying attention to him, and he's very sad about it. And that's about it.
Yeah. I think it's good.
The card is not so good, though.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's like a submerge for submerge mana.
Yeah, but do you ever pay mana for Submerge?
You don't.
Okay, so
I think it's fine. Like, I mean, it's like a removal spell limited. Like,
yeah. So you're relegating this just to limited, right?
yeah. No, this doesn't have any standard applications or
Right.
constructed applications.
Just making sure you can lose your mind.
No, but I mean, like, you can never like ignore putting something on top of the library. Like,
You know
that
what
effect
I
is, like,
did
really
just
strong.
notice. Check out the flavor text. That is his name.
Flip to it.
Yeah. It's a bunch of consonants. Has always hated crowds.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah. But anyways, next card.
Next card we have is Voidwalk. Another Cipher card.
Yeah, another sorcery cipher card. Still not super fan of the sorcery cipher thing. But...
Yeah. It reminds me of like Momentary Blink. Like,
yeah, you get to exile something. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, like to me, I'd like to use this card where I could abuse my own like end of battlefield triggers.
Yeah, that seems like much more valuable when you can like get a repeatable bonus coming in, like a blade splicer kind of thing.
Yeah, in terms of like removal or like getting your guys through, it feels kind of weak. Like it works the first time you cast it, but then like you ciphered on something and then it's like.
Yeah, like you can't get rid of it that next combat step because that you have to hit for it to cipher.
Right, and like it'd probably be blocking your cipher guy.
Right.
So like the card only gets like very limited use, or it's like really difficult to use. Then you're never actually like dealing with the problem. Like
yeah.
It's not even like tempo-y enough because like they're getting at the back of your end step,
right.
and they can still keep attacking you. So it's not like you buy it yourself any time.
Right.
So like to me, it feels like a momentary blink card where you want to do it to your own stuff.
Yeah.
To get value out of it, but in the limited speak, there isn't a whole lot to do.
There's not too many crazy things that like have entered the battlefield. The only ones that we've really seen so far is the Angel Maker there, the 1/1 for 6 that makes angels. No. But like that's a pretty deep combo if you're able to like connect those two. We're like get an angel every turn.
Yeah, and constructive performance we already have better things.
Yeah,
for this
definitely. So it's you might play it, you might not. It's not
it's pretty meh.
Yeah. Much. And so that gives us our last card, Way of the Thief. It's a card we've seen kind of before. It boosts power and toughness and the conditional unblockable thing. Unfortunately, the conditional unblockable thing is based on your gates.
Yeah, like another gate card, like we saw.
Yeah.
That white card. Yeah, like this feels like a total trap. Like.
Yeah, you're investing 4 mana into it. Like it's not even 100% guarantee you're going to be unblockable.
Yeah. Like very casually directed because like it revolves around the gates. And, everyone loves common dual lands.
Right, common dual lands are hot. Like the new players coming in, they don't want to spend the money on the shock lands or whatever the lands are at the time.
Yeah.
They can get a bunch of nice mana bases together. With the gates.
Right, but like to me that feels like a that's part of the trap. So like new players are gonna want to like make a gate deck or play this, and they're gonna learn like the harsh reality of like 2-for-1ing yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when they go to do this and then somebody like terrors their guy, and it's like, oh, okay, done.
Like this goes to the graveyard too. Like how does that? Yeah.
So
feels like a trap card.
Definitely a trap card. I mean, conceptually, Way of the Thief. Being a unblockable guy kind of makes sense, but not much more to say than that.
Nope.
So thank you. That was the conclusion of our blue and white review. Thanks for watching.